All right, so we're going to start today with some warm-ups. This is not on your paper, so if you have a scratch paper because you want to write this down, this is the kind of question that's on the next quiz. And the next quiz will be Thursday next week. We don't have school next Friday. You don't have school next Friday. I always have school. Except days. Okay. Because we have to be here the whole day in meetings. I know. Okay. That's why I was whispering. It's not the college board that I care about. The school board, maybe. Go away, go away, go away. Well, what I'm going to be working on largely that day is aligning curriculum so that, you know, all the pre-calc teachers are doing the same thing, algebra teachers doing the same thing, that kind of thing. All right. So this was on the last quiz. We're a minute into the video and we've done nothing yet. Maybe we should just scrap that and start over. I don't know. Let's square both sides. Okay. When we square the left side, because everything is in the radical, we just get 4x plus 13, right? But when we square the right side, everything is not in the radical, so we have to think about what that means to square it all out. Square root of x times square root of x. And outside and inside are each 4 square root of x, 4 square root of x, and 4 times 4. Okay, now what do you want to do? Combine. Okay, if I subtract this x over here and this 16 over here and add these together maybe, and I do all that at once. Is that all right? Okay, now what? Okay, I could, we're gonna have messy things if we do that. I do have to square it again. And both sides this time have to be maybe foiled out. This is not a FOIL problem over here, but I'm going to write it anyway, just so you think about what's all getting multiplied together here. So over here, if I distribute all this out, okay. I have a white one in here for some reason. Is that the junior senior one, right? Does it say junior senior? Because I did a sophomore one too. Okay. 3x times 3x. This would be a minus 9x and another minus 9x, right? And negative 3 times negative 3 is plus 9. Okay, over here, what happens? It's not distributing but there's an 8 and an 8, which makes us 64, right? X, yes. Everybody's okay with that side? Nobody's confused about that side? All right. Now what? Because it's a squared or factoring or something, right? So we have to get it equal to 0. Okay, just some people get stuck at this spot and don't know what to do. So we have 9x squared. If I do minus 64x, I need help, guys. 82, the 1864 minus 82x plus 9. Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Anybody know why? Because 9 times 9 is 81, right? And 1, does that work? 81x, right? 81x and negative 1x would be negative 82x in the middle. We okay? So we get x equals 1/9 or 9. Then the whole extraneous solution thing comes up. Does this work? So can you type on your calculator for me? 4 times 1/9 plus 13. What is it? If you do a math enter, what is the fraction? Okay, 1/9 becomes what?
121.
Okay, that's all right, because the square root of that is supposed to equal the square root of 1/9 plus 4. Okay, what's the square root of 121? Square root of 9. Square root of 1. Square root of 9. Is 4 1/3 the same as 11/3? This is less than 4, right? Okay, so this isn't working. What about the 9? But you have to check it. You can't, I mean, you could have typed it in your calculator and see if you get the same decimal on both sides. I was just trying to have some practice, some fun there. But if I put a 9 in, what happens? Square root of 36 plus 13, which is 49, equals the square root of 9 plus 4. This is 7. This is 3 plus 4. Is that working? Okay. Ready for that fun on the next quiz? We'll keep practicing. I want to real quick talk about this because some of you still aren't getting the differences between this. What's the order I'm supposed to do this in? Okay. So if I flip this, well, could you have made this a little harder, Abruzzo? If I flip it, I don't know, where's that supposed to be? Somewhere there. This is my very rough sketch, okay? Then what? Move it up 4. Okay, if it was here, it should now be here somewhere. All right? What's the difference in this one? I have to do this first, which would do what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Bake it. Okay, pretend. And then what? Now, do I just flip it upside down? This is where some of you are confused what it means. Don't switch the X and Y. Okay, so I'm going to take this thing right here, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to flip it up, down, but it's down here at -4-ish, yes? Do you understand what's happening? Reflect it across this line. So if I fold my paper in half, that red one should match this red one. Yes? Okay. Are those the same thing in any way, shape, or form? No. Now do you see why order matters a little bit more? Okay. I want to do one more real quick. What is the difference between this and this? Just kidding. On, let's say, goes through here, here, and over here. So if I do this one in black ink, what is that going to do? So it's going to go up twice as far and down twice as far, but it's still going to cross at all the same places. You get it, guys? What does this one do? If I do that one in green. Yes, horizontal shrink by 1/2. What does it change? Yes, so this will now go half as close in here, but still the same height. And this one will be half as close in this way. Not well done, but do you kind of get the idea? Okay. And what would this be? Okay. horizontal stretch by 2. So if the original, what was the original? The blue one? I'm already confused. Okay. The blue one would go out twice. I thought I picked purple. Come on. Will it write purple? Okay, we're going to go with red. It's got to go out twice as far this way and still the same height. And then it's going to go out twice as far this way, but still the same that way. Are we getting a little better at this stuff? Okay. Yes, it is. Since I'm wasting time on, or spending valuable time on this, what's the difference between this? Okay, so if this is my graph, okay, it literally one is going to flip it upside down, but that's not the right answer, right? We got to move it so the intercepts are all still at the same places. That's it. Okay, literally flips it upside down. That's this one, right? Okay, the other one, get rid of this one. The other one, I should be able to flip it left, right, and then move it over here. And it's not the same places, okay? It should cross Y at the same spot. So it's kind of bad picture because it was kind of, what kind of a function? It was almost what? Almost an even function. It almost had symmetry. All right. Anyway, let's talk about 2.2. Everybody got your graphing calculator? The idea today, guys, is that we're going to put a bunch of stuff into list 1 and list 2 and then turn on a stat plot and decide what kind of regression equation to use. The choices that we're going to focus on, I think today, are quadratic, cubic, and power. Everybody knows what a quadratic looks like, right? Like glancing at this might be a good quadratic, yes? The only way I would know to use a cubic would be if I literally saw it kind of doing an up and down thing, okay? And there's possibly some things would be a great fit for that. Power is this shape, okay? So quadratic is something like this or like this. Everybody good with the differences? We're going to have to make good choices. I'll tell you right now, on the quiz, I went ahead and told you. I want you to use power. I want you to use quadratic, okay? You don't have to make a choice on the quiz because I don't want you to choose the wrong one and just get it wrong. So we're supposed to type this in, which, you know, will take half hour. So how do we do that? Stat edit. You can clean your Y out and make sure you don't have any equations in there at some point. And up onto the title, clear, enter to clear a list out, or there's a way to clear them all at once if you want to know, but sometimes you don't want to clear them all. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got that in pretty quick. Now, All right, you have to know how to turn on and off the stat plot. Does everybody know how to do that? Who can tell me? Second y equals, okay. Enter, enter, and as long as you have your data in list 1 and list 2, and you want to have it the type to be the very first one, which is a scatter plot. Any questions about that? Second y equals, make sure the dark box is around on here. The type is the very first one, and it should say list 1 and list 2. If it doesn't, you scroll down there, and it's second 1 to get L1 and second 2 to get L2. Everybody good? Okay, if we want to see this, which zoom do we use to set up a window? Okay, zoom stat, which is 9. Anybody not getting this? Okay. Now, we're going to choose quadratic. Okay. Looking at this, we determined that it looks like a parabola, so we're going to choose quadratic. Do you remember how to get to the regression part where we can do the equations? It's stat, arrow to the right. But we want to do which one this time? Number 5, the quadratic regression, okay? The choices today are going to be 5, 6, and A, which is power, okay? So number 5, the quadratic regression. Now, if you have an older calculator, this is where you have to type L1, comma, L2, comma, Y1. If you have this model, you go down, you make sure there's nothing in the frequency list or it will totally mess up your data. I do want to store this equation. How do we get the Y? Okay, next to the clear, we do vars, arrow to the right, enter, enter, unless you want to put it in something other than Y1. And then go ahead and hit enter until it shows up on your screen. Okay, on the quiz, I specified that you should write to the nearest thousandth. So this A, see it says up here, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So A is negative 0.409. X squared plus b is 2.76x plus c, which is 16.267. 2.762, sorry, I didn't do the nearest thousandth. All right. Yes. Your diagnostics aren't turned on, and we're not going to use that value today. But if you go to mode, Sam, and scroll down, there's one that says stat diagnostics on. Just turn it, make sure it says on. Anybody have an older calculator and didn't get it to work? Need help? You're good, Michael? Okay. If you go to your graph now, it should be there. And it seems like a really good fit, yes? The correlation coefficient, I don't, it says R squared, not really R, so I guess, I don't really know, but it's the only one we have, so I'm going with 0.993. I don't ask you that on the quiz, all right? Use the model to estimate the flow at 10.5 hours. Okay, I'm a little brain dead here. Was the hours the X or the Y? So if we put in 10.5 for X, right? Okay, so if I want to use, I can go to the home screen and I can type my equation in with a 10.5. Negative 0.409 times 10.5 squared plus 2.762 times 10.5. Have I messed up my typing yet? plus 16.267. Okay, just spent half my life typing that. Anybody get something like that? 0.175? No? No? Did I miss something? I think I typed it right. Okay. What did I do? Yes? Yes. There's other ways you can do this that are much more effective. The other ways will only work if you stored the equation in y1 though. Okay, if you didn't store the equation, you can't do them. You could go to the table. If you wanted your table to count by 0.5s, you could tell it here to count by 0.5s, and then you would scroll down to 10.5. You could also, remember we used this idea before, that you could switch this to Ask Auto. Okay, and then you can tell it I want to find the value at 10.5, and you get 0.16985, which is close to what I got. Okay, the book is going to assume that you have stored the equation and used that with all its decimal places. Okay, so you might get slightly different answers for your predictions if you don't store the equation and use all the decimal places. On the quiz, what I did is I said round your final answer now to like the nearest hundredth, and so then everybody should get the same whether you used the equation and plugged it in or whatever. Any questions? I'm babbling here. All right, so what did we get about? So around 1.7, can I just write that? The flow rate would be about, what does that mean? What was the label here? This is important. What were we doing? Hundreds of liters per hour, right? So what if we changed it? What's 0.17 hundreds of liters mean? Yeah, if we multiply by 100, it would be about 17 liters per hour. Yeah, they made that confusing. You could have just written, for me, 0.17 hundreds of liters per hour or whatever it said, okay? Use the model to determine the approximate time the flow was about 1,000 liters per hour. Well, 1,000 is what? How many hundreds? 10. So this makes y equals 10. So if we have this graphed, we want to know an exact value. Go down to your y2 and put in a line at 10 for y. And watch it come across your screen. And find that intersection point. And the y value is 10. Anybody get in about 8.545, something like that? At about 8.5 hours. Everybody okay? All right, so let's try this one. Oh, man. All right, start typing. I don't want to. All right, so when you finally have the data typed in, what is this even talking about? Okay, it says the further a planet is from the sun, the longer it takes to complete an orbit. These are astronomical units, okay, which is a measure of distance, all complicated. But this is how long in days. So what do you notice about this one right here? Yes. An astronomical unit is basically how far the Earth is from the sun. Yes. So these are like 39% as far in these planets out here. This planet is 30 times as far away as the Earth is from the sun. Okay. So, and this is how long it takes to complete one rotation around the sun when orbit. Okay. So it would be basically the length of a year. Yes. All right. We are supposed to look at what? What are we going to do with this data? You need to be able to do the scatter plot to determine, yes. So I'm going to go to y equals real quick and clear out all my other garbage. And then my stat plot is already on, but I'm not going to see anything until I change what? The window, yes. So I need to do a zoom 9. Huh. Glad I spent so much time on that. Doesn't it look linear to you? Okay. Yeah, but they say that we really shouldn't use a line. What do they tell us to use? Power regression. Okay. We could do both and see the difference, but they told us to use power because it does curve a little bit here at the end. So we're going to use power regression. So we're going to go stat, right arrow. Power is all the way down at A. Everybody find it? PWRREG. Yes, please store it. So L1, L2, Y1, which is vars, arrow to the right, enter, enter, enter. Go ahead and calculate it. Now, you got to pay attention. What is the regression equation telling us this time? It says y equals ax to the b. Does everybody see that right up here? The top of their screen, it should say ax to the b. So it's 366 point, what did it say underneath my calculator? Thousandth again? Is mine right? Okay, I must have one. Do I have a data point in wrong, guys? Everybody else is getting... Can I read them to somebody? Because it take me forever to check these. 0.39, 0.721, 1.49, 5.19, 9.51, 19.1, 20, nope, 30, kidding, 39.3. Okay, going back the other way, I have 95.82, 62.67, 306.81, 107.75, 43.44, 687, 365, 224. Oh, that little tiny business? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. I should be able to just go back to the home screen and hit enter again and it will recalculate. There, 367.322. Now are we matching? Okay, thanks guys. All right, 367.323 times x to the power of 1.501 if I do that many places. Okay, whatever the correlation coefficient is, it's 0.999 this time. I mean, I know it rounds to 1, but whatever. You can give me one. I don't ask that on the quiz, honestly. How's it look on the graph? Has a bit of a curve, but it's hitting them all nicely, yes? Okay. Okay. Oh, this is a whole new question? That's all we had to do? All right, what if we discovered a new planet? Where do you want it to be? Oh, further away?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, let's say it's 60 astronomical units away. How do you do that? Yeah, you could just go to the table for that one if you have it on auto, but you'd have to scroll all the way down to 60, right? I'm kind of like an ask auto and put in a 60 because I don't want to scroll. Its years would be 171,156 days long. I would be very young. I might like to live there. It might be a little cold that far from the sun. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe it's close to another star, so it's, I don't know. I'm not good at all this stuff. All right, moving on to example 3. It says decide what to use. Now, I gave you a hint, but I want you to type it in and see what you think. I'm not going to do it this time because I have it all at the bottom of my screen here. Did you get them typed in? When you go stat right arrow this time, what are you going to go down to? Does it say to use what? Cubic. Because it looked like this, didn't it? So it kind of was changing direction a little bit. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a perfect fit for that one. Actually, logarithmic would, or logistic would probably fit the best. But we're told to use one of those 3, so we're going to pick cubic. Did you get this whole hot mess? Do you have to put in A, B, C, and D into the equation? Who's not getting it to work? Anybody need my help? Huh? You got it? Is those the numbers you got?
No.
Yes, Andrew. Oh, thanks. So my equation's totally wrong. How's that going to work? How am I even going to write that out? If I round to the nearest thousandth, it doesn't mean nothing. I guess I'll write it in scientific notation. Negative 3.87 times 10 to the negative 8th. No. X cubed plus 1.531 times 10 to the negative 4th x squared minus the next one. I can just do 136x plus 167.0008 or 008. That would be the fun of putting it in your storing it though, right? Oh, I didn't do it. No wonder. I'm like, what does it look like when you put it in there? I didn't do it on my calculator. What does it, if you look at it, is it in scientific notation in the y equals, guys? Did anybody do it? Is it? Yes? Okay. Anyway, then it says energy input for 800 calories when the input is 800. So we need to do, yeah, ask Otto or something. Did you get it to look like this? Anybody look at the graph? It did fit it pretty well, right? And what did you get when you put in 800? Because I didn't do it. All right. So you are expected to know how to save it into Y1 and then use that to find values. Though if you don't, if you do it by typing it back in on the home screen, I will accept your answer. Do we need to do another example? Okay. This, guys, please. The only 3 questions, the homework assignment is on the board up here, but the only 3 questions that you have to do are 43, 44, and 45 on this regression stuff, okay? 43, 44, and 45. Let's talk about this 43 since we got a little time. We already did the back of this worksheet, yes? Yes. We did 2 of them, and then your assignment Monday night was, or Tuesday night was to finish the rest, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure we're okay with that. I can do another one if you need me to, but we did, those of us who were here yesterday did, so it's on the video if you need more practice. We did 2 out of the book. All right. The number of feet below the maximum water level in Wisconsin's Rainbow Reservoir during 10 months of 2007 is shown. Write a model that best relates the water level as a function of the month since January. So what do we want to use if this is month since January? This is going to confuse me. I'm going to use 1. The way they said it, they probably want us to do 0, but that's totally going to confuse me. Is that going to confuse anybody else? Let's just, because it says month since January. January is no month since January, right? Let's just use the number, like January's the first month, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to get, oh, they skipped June. They skipped something else? They skipped October, too. They must not got out there to measure it. Why wouldn't you go measure the water in June? That seems like the nice weather. Okay, September, October, and December. Okay, so enter those data points. Guys, quickly, if you want to do this, this is your homework. I'm trying to help you. This is book work that is assigned, so write it down on a piece of paper. If you started yesterday with us, we worked on 104 in class, the 5 of us who are here. There was 8? Okay. Then we may have watched music videos the rest of the hour. That's because we did them all together. If you watch the video, you can watch us do them all together. No, I didn't record the music videos. All right, so list 1 and list 2. Now, do a Zoom 9. Make sure you have the stat plot turned on. Turn off all your y equals junk. Nothing in there. What does it look like? We got a picture for me? Oh, it looks like an M? What would you actually think of when you saw that? I would think of M, which is how many? 3 turns, so it's what? Degree 4. Anybody know what the word for 4 is? Okay. It is quartic. Is that an option?
No.
Stat, right arrow. It is number 7. I didn't know we had to use that one today, but I'm thinking it would be the best fit, honestly. So somebody do the quartic and then show me how good it fits. Does it fit pretty good? Oh. It's not that good. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be better than anything else. But you have a lot of stuff to write down, don't you? You have to put in a this and a this and a this to write your answer down. All right, then it says predict the level in October. So what are we going to put in? 10. Somebody said 14.8, yes? Does it give us a unit on that? Nowhere, does it? Okay. Does it say that somewhere? Oh, thanks. I was like looking all over. So 14.8 feet. Okay. I didn't write out the equation because I didn't do it. All right, you have 2 more assigned, and these don't tell you what to use, so you're going to have to look at the scatter plot. 45 is in the back, 44 is not. My answer key is over there. Any questions? Okay, So this is the homework that needs to be completed if you have not already done it. We added 83 and 84. Dun, da, da. All right. Tomorrow we're going to work on